Guys, check it out. I just got the new to me Futura 64mm by FMS. I had to grab it because I saw Banggood had a flash sale and they had a coupon for $10 off, so I paid like $117 for this, which is an absolute steal, because I've paid more for 50 mils that don't even have gear and don't have 8 servos. Yes, this has 8 servos. You got the flaps, you got the ailerons, you got the elevators, you got the rudder, and you have the steerable nose wheel. You'll see there's some wires hanging off because I did add a light, which I have to just wire up, and I have to use a voltage reducer to 3.5 volts. So this little guy is going to go in line with here, and then the rest of it's going to plug into a receiver. It's got some really good gear. You can see the front, a lot of travel there. We'll take a look at the rear also. Push that down. Really nice gear for 64mm. The only other plane that kind of has this that I have, instead of having the wires like the F-15 Eagle that I have, or even the 70mm Viper that I have, which I upgraded anyway, but is a Viper 64. It also has some nice gear, but this one feels really nice. And I got my trusty TX16S with my default template here. I gotta just put the what do you call it? The picture of the Futura. Let's turn that back on, and we're gonna take a look at my setup. So I got a 2200, but I've also got 2600s that I can use. I pretty much have to toss it all the way to the front where it just starts hitting the foam there. And I got some Velcro holding the battery firmly from sliding back and forth. And then this, just in case I go upside down or high G-forces. I have an, what's it called, a Radio Master ER6. You can see it right in there. It's a 6-channel ELRS, so pretty much fail-safe proof kind of system, because those are good for FPVs going behind brick buildings and all that stuff. And so it's got a diversity antenna setup, so I got one running along the length. I know that's not the best when the battery's in the way, but that's why we got 2. So in case it's facing in other words, if I'm facing this way and the battery's in the way, at least I got this antenna still going. And when it's facing this way, the antenna is running along the side here. I couldn't think of any other way to set it up to have it be 90 degrees, so I'm going to have to deal with that for now. If I do have any issues, I obviously have low quality signal, RSSI, all that stuff set up. And I will have battery voltage, so basically full telemetry. Just have to wire in the feed signal from here to the receiver. And you'll notice I'm running a lot of wires here. You'll see all the wires are coming out of the reflex, even though this has S-bus and so does that, where you can just run one wire and avoid all this. But then I lost the PWM signal, which I need for the flaps. And I'm sure there's a way to assign the pin. I couldn't figure it out last night. I just gave up and ended up just putting all the wires. But it was such a neat setup, just having one wire coming from the S-bus or going from the S-bus, you know, to control everything. So I was able to do everything except the flaps. The flaps don't go into the reflex, only the 3 out of the 4 channels, and this is a what do you call it, a 6-channel receiver. I'm using all channels, but it would be nice to just have that one serial bus thing going. If anybody knows how to do that, set the flaps to the receiver to read on PWM, and then just have the serial thing here, you would save a good amount of weight and wires and a lot of mess there. I probably will change out this connector to the ones that have the little gray part at the bottom and feel a little bit beefier, because I have to wire in that signal anyway. And yes, that is the reflex receiver. I use that because you can actually program it, because it's an FMS plane. You can just program the Futura there. I do have like what are they called? The Hobby Eagles, but you have to kind of just tune those first. But I figure the FMS is fine. And I do fly Spectrum, but I'm keeping the non-BNF planes. Like this guy, I'm starting to move over to ELRS, because I've never had an issue with Spectrum, but I definitely see the advantages of stepping up to this, especially if I'm going to be flying bigger planes. So I'll start to learn how to use a TX16. Pretty good with it so far. I'm able to set everything up. So we're going to check out how I have it set up. So I just plugged in the battery. See, the receiver is lit up blue. It's got signal. And you have the reflex going. It just did the surface checks to let you know it's all set up. We'll take a look at my TX16 here. Hopefully we can prop it up here for you to check out. So I got all the channels going. You can hear the ailerons. You got the elevators and you got the rudder. And no throttle because I have it on a kill switch. So you'll notice if the throttle's on, I like it having it this way. So you have kind of like a dual safety. If the throttle's up, normally what happens is if you flick the throttle, it would just launch forward, but it's not going to do that. You'd have to actually go back down and then back up. You'll see it activates it. So it's a good way to have extra safety. You throttle it off, pull this up a little bit just in case you tap that, because sometimes what will happen is you tap this and then you end up hitting this and then the plane goes crazy. I got my finger chopped up pretty good one time because that happened. So now I set it up where if you kill it, you bring this up and then it won't activate again. And I'll show you what I have here. Because this reflex does have auto level, which I use for the oh crap moments. I thankfully moved away from just flying completely in like a safe mode, I guess you want to call it. It's always good to learn that way so you don't crash too many planes, but there's something to be said about just grabbing a simulator and learning how to fly, and that way you don't have to rely on that. And because I think safe is really just good for that. Just like you had an oops moment, you want to level it out, you lost orientation, but to fly with it, it's very limiting. But I understand why one would want to have it to learn, because that's how I learned. But I'll show you how I set it up. I have it set up on the momentary switch, and you'll see that white bar in the top left. If I flick it up, whoops. Oh, but you got to have the throttle on, sorry. There you go. It won't do it while the throttle's off. And if you flick it on, it turns green. So I've activated the safe mode or auto leveling. So I'll show you that working. And it's not working. Alright. Not sure why that is, but let's see. It was working a second ago. Let me see if I can figure it out here. I think I found that why, because I have the switch on channel 7, but on the switch here it's on channel 5, so I just have to change this up. Let me go ahead and do that so I can demonstrate how that works. Alright guys, so I got it changed now. The channel 7 I deactivated since this doesn't have 7 channels, and you can see channel 5 is now moving. You can, I don't know if you could hear the surface is moving, but once I have it on green here, let me hold the jet upside down. It's kind of hard to do with you can hear that. And if we hold it, if we hold it upside down, you can see it's self-leveling. The good thing is I have it on like a momentary switch, because this is usually where I have it on my Spectrum, which is just like a switch you can have up or down. This, it's just a momentary. So one flick up, one flick down, which took me forever to figure out that logical switch. It was, I don't even know how I did it, to be honest. I mean, I posted a video on how to set that up, but I don't know how I figured it out, but I got it working. And that's it, guys. I'm really happy with the plane. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering about the CG, I did set it up where that middle point of that CG mark is at 80 millimeters, and then the edge of the top is at 95, the front edge is at 85. So that's the range they want you to do it at. And but yeah, so I can't wait to fly this thing and have that front light, which I'm sure will cause some extra drag, but not much. Look at that. The gear is already creating a lot of what's it called, drag as it is. But yeah, that's it, guys, and canopy back on. And if you guys, depends on your age, but if you remember Ultraman, or if you know who Ultraman is, this reminds me of Ultraman. It's like his colors and silver and red. It's almost like an Ultraman plane. But anyway, that's it.